Okay. How are you going to use free content in order to attract buyers and sellers into your real estate business? If you are struggling with figuring out what to post, what your content should be, what sort of things you should be talking about in order to attract your ideal client, you first have to dial back and really figure out what free content is going to do in order to grow your business online. So I'm going to go over a few steps on, creating free content and what you can do in order to make it a system in your business so that you can stay consistent. Because truly, creating free content and giving it to your audience is what is going to help you become their real estate expert and increase the know, like, and trust factor that's going to make them want to work with you. So first, we need to know that using free content, it has a purpose, and that purpose is to create connection and provide value. So those two things you always need to keep in mind when you are thinking about what you're going to post and who you're speaking to. So who you're speaking to is very, very important. But just back to the value and connection part, value can be perceived in different ways. So value can be, in my opinion, one of three things. It can be education, entertainment, or inspiration. Most likely in your real estate business, you're going to be providing free content that's going to be educational for people, letting them know things that they may not necessarily know and solving problems for them that are keeping them up at night and things that they are really not sure where to get guidance from, and you're going to come in and be that expert for them. So marketing at its core is really about creating connection and trust. People will work with people that they know, like, and most importantly, trust. So don't worry so much about giving stuff away when a lot of real estate agents are taught to get the meeting, get the listing appointment, get the buyer's appointment, and then show them the value that they need. I truly believe that, especially in the online space, you need to give a lot of value up front, so the people that have no idea who you are get tuned into your content and they get to know and like and trust you through your content. That's going to make them want to work with you and prompt them in order to book a call with you. So there's a few steps that I want to go through when it comes to creating this free content. The first step is that you need to get really super clear on your messaging. Your messaging is everything when it comes to your online marketing plan. You need to figure out exactly who it is that you're speaking to. Come up with a profile of this person, and it should just be one person that you're speaking to. A lot of people are hesitant to commit to this exercise because they feel like they are going to be blocking out a lot of business if they're only speaking to one person. When it comes to marketing, this is not the case. If you're speaking to everyone, you're really speaking to no one. So when it comes to your marketing, you need to focus on one person, one demographic, really dial in specifically on who they are, what keeps them up at night, what's their profession, their age, their income, what is the problem that you can solve for them? What is it that they want to achieve that you can help them achieve? So you need to get really clear on this as your first step, because all of the content that you create is going to be speaking to that one person. Step number two is to choose a platform and choose a type of media in order to communicate with your audience. So online, there's so many different options for you available. You can do a podcast, you can have a written blog, you can have a YouTube channel, you can communicate based on Instagram, Facebook, like I said, YouTube, LinkedIn. So you have to choose a platform that you're comfortable with, and then also choose a type of media. I believe that video is the best way to warm up a really cold prospect and get them to know, like, and trust you really fast. I think video and audio are the best ways to do that. Most people are not comfortable going on video right away, which is fine. It's a skill that you can practice and get better at. But if you're really not comfortable with any of that, then you can focus on things maybe like a written blog. But when you're deciding this, you need to figure out what you're comfortable with, but also you want to push yourself maybe into doing something that is a little bit less comfortable, like maybe doing a podcast or putting yourself out on a live video, which can sometimes feel uncomfortable, but could be the best option for your business. Because what you need to consider is who your ideal client is in step one, and what their lifestyle is and how they're consuming content. So if your ideal client is, let's say, lawyers, they don't have a ton of time to sit down and listen to or to read a lengthy blog, for example. So you may want to create short bite-sized videos that's going to get the point across to them really quickly, because they just don't have the time to consume long form content. So really keep in mind who your ideal client is, where they are hanging out in terms of what platform they're hanging out on, and also what is the best type of media for them to consume. I usually think trying to keep things under 5 minutes is ideal, because a lot of people are busy. We have short attention spans. We don't have a ton of time to commit to consuming content. So keep that in mind when you're choosing your platform and type of media, and then just go with it. Step number 3, you have to show up consistently. Make a promise to yourself. Decide on how often you're going to be showing up and communicating with your audience and your email list, and stick to that. If you feel like you want to do, 3 videos a week on your Facebook page, then go ahead and commit to that, but make sure that you can actually follow through. So that's going to take a little bit more planning on your end to make sure that you have regular content always coming out for those 3 days a week, because people will start to expect that from you, and you have to show up consistently. It's so important. I could say that over and over again. I think at least you should be putting out something once a week and communicating with your email list at least once a week. And once you commit to that, it's really that simple. Make a promise to yourself. Tell yourself there's no way that you're not going to show up at least once a week for your audience and putting out free content, even if nobody's listening, nobody's watching. If you're just starting out, that's going to happen. You just have to get over it and keep doing it over and over again. And eventually the tides will turn on that. Step number 4, you have to get people to actually consume your content. And I think this part is very key, because a lot of people are struggling getting engagement these days on social media. So organic engagement is down. Not a lot of people are seeing what you're posting on your professional Facebook page, and that's because giants like Facebook are wanting you to pay for ads. Now, there's a way around this I'm going to cover in another video, because it's just too big of a topic, but there are ways that you can create a piece of content on, let's say, Facebook, on your Facebook professional page, that you can then turn into an ad on Facebook and get video views, for example, on that piece of content. If you're creating a video, for example, that is relatively inexpensive to get views on your video, that could then turn cold traffic or retargeted traffic from your website into consumers of this content. So you'll get more eyeballs on what you are putting out there, which is great, because that is going to attract more people into your business. So those are the 4 steps I want you to consider before you start figuring out exactly what you're going to say. You have to figure out who you're speaking to, where you're going to be speaking to them, how you're going to be speaking to them, come up with a plan on how often you're going to show up, and then start thinking about how you're going to get eyeballs onto that content, which I will be covering in a future video. So I hope you got value from this. If you did, share this with another realtor that you think could benefit from it as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me or DM me, and I can help you out further. Hope you have a good day.